But you still just want to go there as a visitor to meet your uncle or whatever, but your attorney's job is to try to keep you on the right side of that line without going too far. The accountant, the attorney, that's really their gig, is to try to get you as much as you can within the framework of that legal system.
And again, you had said every attorney takes the same bar exam. Well, every CPA takes the same CPA exam.
Correct.
And my CPA knows when we can stretch those boundaries.
Yeah, the good ones know what they're looking for and what they're not focusing on.
Exactly.
And you bring up a good point that in every CPA or law class, somebody graduated at the top of the class, somebody else barely squeaked by. And they still call those same people lawyers and accountants. And there's no real, you aren't lawyer 1 or lawyer 500.
And I agree with you on probably the age of your CPA should be someone a little more well-seasoned. Somebody new is not going to know the practical, how the world really works at the IRS, and what keeps you in and out of trouble. If you go to your CPA with a shoebox with receipts, what do you think your accounting bill is going to look like?
Oh, it's going to be impressive, and you've probably kept your accountant from doing a good job.
Exactly.
They see all these receipts. They don't know what that receipt came from or how it should be categorized, and how something is categorized is very, very important. So, at a minimum, you had better be doing at least an Excel spreadsheet, if not a QuickBooks type program.
My accountant talked me into having his bookkeeper coming once a month, right? It's not cheap. My accounting bill is astronomical. And I beat my accountant over it all the time. But, that being said, she has caught, the bookkeeper's a she has caught some major mistakes and has saved me major money. And just at the end of the year, I think ultimately my accounting bill is probably less than it would be if I know it's less if I gave my accountant a shoebox and said, here, fix this. It's so important that your bookkeeping, I'm horrible at it, it's not my forte, but you better, if you're going to get into this or any business whatsoever, you better find someone who's good at keeping your books right, because you got to know what's coming in, what's going out, and if it was up to me, I would have no clue. So
we do the same thing. I run a much leaner show than you do. It's just me and my wife. But we meet with our accountant or with our bookkeeper once a quarter to prepare things for the accountant. Then we meet with the accountant as a follow-up. Mm-hmm. And just to give you an idea of one of the things that I would have never thought of, we became an S-Corp a couple years ago. I still don't exactly understand what that means, but now when I get money, I pay myself a salary. Mm-hmm. And it somehow helps massively on my tax bill.
Right. I'm doing exactly the same thing, but now I call my company something different. Mm-hmm.
And it really matters in a way that I don't even need to understand.
Yeah, it's a good example for me is we have my wife paid. She gets paid as payroll, and we do that because it ultimately is better for us tax time. And my accountant said so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with that because I don't want to learn the tax code and I don't want to know why and where and how everything works because I'll never get anything done in my business.
Well, that's another thing. These team members that you're adding are to free you up to what you do. I get paid to negotiate real estate deals. Anything that can't fit in that little box of negotiating real estate deals is a waste of my time and something I should not be doing. So, legal stuff. I should not be preparing contracts. I should not be categorizing my expenses. If somebody else can do that, somebody else should be doing that. Real estate is a great and wonderful thing for lazy people. You will make a lot more money by doing less. As backwards as that sounds, if you want to do everything yourself, you will suck at this.
Yeah, and I tend to want to do everything myself. That's my DNA. And, my mom was very frugal, and I don't want to pay anybody to do things, but that is going to absolutely hold you back.
Yeah, I'm a rock-headed German. I want to do everything myself. Nobody will ever do anything as well as I would have done it.
Yes.
But
it's so hard to let go.
It's so hard to teach yourself, and it's taken years of pain and experience, which are almost the same word, to get past that. Where, okay, somebody else did it. It was a whole lot easier for me, and it worked out better. Why the frick was I doing that in the first place?
So, Adam, I'm going to allow you to talk now.
Oh, yes, sir.
So, what are you getting out of this? You're like the fly on the wall, so to speak, here. What are you getting out of this coming from an inexperienced point of view?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important to have a team around you. and know your team and know your team's experience level too. Just because you know somebody, this is your money. Anybody listening to this is your money that you're dealing with. You don't always want to be the nice guy that just does favors for his friends and really risk what you can bring in profit-wise, or get you in trouble legally or with tax codes and stuff like that. So it's important to get a good experienced team around you, one that you feel comfortable with. Don't try to do it all on your own. I mean, it's we talk about this all the time. There's too much to handle, and you want to be out looking for properties anyway. You want to constantly be looking for that next deal, or like you said, negotiating that next deal. But right now, what I'm hearing is your team is invaluable, and it does take money to make money. And I think that's the one misnomer that a lot of people that's the downside of life, but that is life. It does take money sometimes to make money, and I think this is the perfect example of
and I don't want to. That's a great point, and I want to jump on that. I don't want to deter people who don't have money to ever jump into this industry. You have to start small. You have to have a small team. You have to be working on a shoestring budget, and your first deal might have to be some sort of creative owner financing gig. That's just the way it is. But as you grow, your team's going to grow. Your responsibilities are going to grow. Your liability is going to grow. You need to have all those systems in place and those team members.
Your skill set's going to grow as well. I feel it's an advantage to start off in real estate investing when you're broke, because then you don't spend money on anything stupid. When you're broke, you really pay attention to what's going on, where your money's going.
That's a good point.
If you had a ton of money, if you inherited a bunch of money or whatever, and you're throwing out tens of thousands and it doesn't matter to you, you're going to pick all the wrong people. They're going to do all the wrong things. Yeah. And you're going to wake up in a couple of years and wonder, what the hell just happened?
That's kind of like a double-edged sword. Having that money, I'd love to have $1 million right now at my disposal because I could do some serious damage with it. But with not the experience level that I have or the maturity that I have, $1 million, you could do a lot of damage the opposite way.
Agreed. Well, you and I have the same problem, though, because as soon as I get $1 million, I'm investing it.
Yeah, it's gone.
I try to be broke as often as humanly possible, because as soon as I have that money, I'm looking for something to put it into.
But I do also talk a lot about on my blogs and with emails to new investors is I even tend to make emotional decisions. When I get $1 million, that's a responsibility that you have. You have to respect money, not love it, but respect what it can do for you. And sometimes I just have to step back and say, you know what, I'm not going to use any of that until I find a good deal. Instead of emotionally jumping into it because I have it, let's use it. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make money just because you have $1 million. You could lose a lot too.
Yeah, you have more at risk. That's the double-edged sword of being an entrepreneur is you earn what you're worth. Sometimes that's a great thing. Sometimes it's a very painful lesson in self-worth. You can go ahead and screw something up, and you suffer the direct consequences of it, which in the long run is a great and wonderful learning lesson because you'll never forget the painful lessons. But in the short run, it really sucks.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too a little bit later. Partnerships. I see a lot of people go into partnerships thinking that everything's going to be kumbaya, and it typically does not work out. So I know partnerships absolutely work because I have some good ones, but I've had a lot of bad ones, and we're going to help people make a decision to delineate who's a good partner and who isn't. But let's go on to the next building your team person who that should be, woman or man, should be a good real estate agent or agents. Now, why do I say agents, Adam? Why do you think it would be better to have more than one agent?
More agents, more possibilities, more opportunities, potentially more cash flow coming in.
Yeah, I think you're getting your network out there to more people. So you have to be brutally honest with agents, but you also have to be, that you're going to work with other agents. You have to be honest with agents, but you also have to be sincere with agents too, and use them again and again, and throw them some really good deals sometimes when they deserve it. Certain agents, like I'll have people come to me and they want me to help them find a place, and I'll tell them right up front, I don't have the time, and you're not going to get what you deserve by hiring me as your agent. Now I can have some of my agents who work under me help you, and I'll help make some decisions or help you make some decisions that are critical to the process. But to have me searching for you, not a good idea. So I would not be a good, valuable asset or agent to that person, but my team would. But my team only covers certain areas. In certain geographical areas, we don't cover shopping malls, we don't sell raw land, we don't do developments. So to have an agent who thinks that they can be everything to you in all areas and geographically covering everything is impossible. So the agents you're working with need to know that, and you have to be fair with them, and they have to provide the service to you, which is, in my opinion, an agent's main service is to get you the deals as quickly as possible, respond to you in a prompt manner, and be professional when putting in offers for you, and just be at your call when you need them. Josh, what do you got to add to that?
I believe I agree with you very much that you want relationships with multiple agents, and you want to tell them you're not turning around. You're my only agent. No. You might be my only agent in this zip code or in this particular asset class, but once the big issue I have with agents is, I guess the big thing I need to do with agents is to educate them, because the normal residential buyer is not interested in what I'm interested in, vice versa. So I need to teach them to look for the things that I want.
So you're saying like an agent who does more residential, dealing with families moving and buying their next home, and that's maybe not an agent that's going to fit your mold of an agent.
That agent would be fantastic for me, but I don't want them to show me the house that everybody else wants. I want them to find me the house that nobody else wants.
Right.
We joke about this in real estate circles. Find me the house that smells of dog urine so badly that your eyes burn when you walk into it, and nobody else will enter that property. I want to know about that house very quickly.
So true. I took my mom, who's 88. Right. Sometimes I grab her and we just go for a ride because she wants to get out of the house. We'll go see some of my projects, and she'll be like, "You're buying that?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom. The uglier, the better."
Yeah.
She doesn't see that.
Yeah,
that's the average consumer doesn't see that.
We're looking for good personality, not attractiveness. I can make them look good, and that's what I want.
What's on the inside.
Find me a $300,000 house in a house that's in a $300,000 neighborhood that is hideous and smells bad. I want that house all day long.
Yeah.
I want things that the rest of the market isn't interested in. So I'm your outlier buyer. So when you come across those things that it won't pass an FHA inspection, cool, I'm interested. It's for some reason it's in a neighborhood that nobody wants this thing. Okay, give me your ugly, give me your unwanted, give me the things that every other agent in your office doesn't want to go get a listing.
It's like the Statue of Liberty, isn't it? Give us your unwanted and your ugly properties.
Yeah.
And come on to our island.
Smelly, unwashed disasters. Give me those things.
Let me ask this question: is it part of the challenge, or is it because of the potential profit behind it, or a mixture of both?
I like the challenge, and the challenge excites me.
There you go.
That's what keeps my brain active and working in this field. But the real answer is it's the profit. Because everybody will buy the beautiful house. Everybody in that price range. But you have to realize that every house that you ever look at is essentially a box. That box's value is based on its condition, its size, and its location. Find me something that throws that box out of whack for the rest of the people. If I can fix it, I'm stepping into a lot of money. So I'm generating my own economy that way. And I'll go a little crazy on this, but let's say that I'm dead broke, but I understand what I'm looking at. I'm brand new, I have no track record. I can still do that deal, it just requires a little more education. So anybody listening to this, you really want to target the things that nobody else is interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and create... You can look at something that's just really ugly and smelly and dog pee and all that, and you can create value by doing the typical what you see on HGTV, right? You go in and rehab it. But you can also create value in other ways. You might find a duplex in an area that's really more honed in on value for single family, right? So that duplex that's sitting out there that nobody wants, it's smelling ugly, could be worth something as a duplex. But guess what? It might be worth twice as much as a single family. Yeah. That's where you actually create value out of nothing by knowing the market.
And where it gets sexy for your relationship with the agents is no other agent can sell that house that I want. So if you approach agents properly and explain that you can be their ditching point for all the ugly houses